If you're one of the millions of Americans who gets an SSI check every month, go look at your bank account in July, because you're about to see 2 payments land instead of 1. 2 deposits. Same program, same account. And a lot of good people are going to watch that second one hit and think the government finally sent them a little extra. It didn't. That second check is not a bonus, it's not a gift, and if you treat it like free money, August is going to hurt. Nobody at the Social Security office is going to call and walk you through this. So stay with me, because the most important part of this whole thing is the one mistake that leaves people short at the start of August. And right at the end, I'll show you the exact move that sidesteps it. Welcome back to the Finance Scribe, where we take the confusing letters, the fine print, and the government calendar nobody bothers to explain, and we turn all of it into plain English you can actually use. In the next few minutes, you'll know the 2 exact dates, why there are suddenly 2 of them, how much you're owed this year, and the single move that keeps this from wrecking your month. Let me kill the biggest myth right away, because I've already seen it floating around. This isn't a rumor. It isn't one of those fake 4th stimulus stories that pop up every summer. This is real. It's printed right on the official Social Security payment calendar, and it applies whether your check is small or close to the maximum. Doesn't matter if you rent or you own. Doesn't matter which state you call home. If you get SSI, this is your July. Quick word before we go further. I'm not a lawyer and I don't work for the Social Security Administration. I'm just the person who reads this stuff so you don't have to. Do me one favor while you watch. Drop your state in the comments, because folks who also get a state supplement have one extra wrinkle, and I'll point it out along the way. So here's what's actually happening. In a normal month, SSI runs like clockwork. Your payment shows up on the first day of the month, 1st of January, 1st of February, 1st of March. Simple. That steady rhythm is the thing your whole budget is quietly built around. But 2026 has a quirk, and it lands right on top of you this summer. Your first SSI payment of July arrives on Wednesday, July 1st. Right on schedule. Nothing strange about that one. That's your July money, for the month of July. Then, at the very end of the month, a second SSI deposit shows up, on Friday, July 31st. 2 checks, same account, 30 days apart. And that second one is where everybody gets tangled up. So why is it even there? It comes down to a calendar rule most people have never heard of. The Social Security Administration follows one firm promise. Your money should never arrive late just because of a weekend or a holiday. So whenever a payment date lands on a Saturday, a Sunday, or a federal holiday, they don't make you wait. They move it earlier, to the last business day before it. Now look at the calendar. The August SSI payment is due August 1st, but August 1st, 2026 falls on a Saturday. They can't pay you on a Saturday, and they refuse to pay you late. So they slide that check backward to the closest working day in front of it, and that day is Friday, July 31st. That's the whole trick. There's no new law, no secret program, no senator quietly fighting for you behind closed doors. It's just a weekend bumping one check backward on the calendar. Your July 1st payment belongs to July. Your July 31st payment belongs to August, arriving one day early. And this is the part I really need you to hear, because it's exactly where the most people slip. That second deposit is not extra money. Let me say it again slower, because it matters more than anything else in this video. It is not a bonus, it is not a 13th check, it's not back pay, and it's not the government making up for some mistake. It is your August benefit. You're simply getting it on the last day of July instead of the first day of August. Think of it like your daughter mailing your birthday card 2 days early. The card came early. That doesn't mean you get a second birthday. Same money, just moved up on the calendar. So why does that matter so much? Because of what comes next. There is no SSI payment on August 1st. And there isn't another one all month long. Your next SSI check after July 31st won't arrive until September 1st. On the calendar, August looks completely empty. You get paid on the 31st of July, and then you wait a full month. Now picture the household that doesn't know any of this. 2 checks land in July. It feels like a windfall. Maybe there's a repair that's been waiting on the back burner, a grandchild's birthday, or just a little breathing room after a few tight months. So that second check gets spent. Not foolishly, just spent, the way money gets spent when you believe more is on the way. Then August 1st arrives. Nothing lands. The 15th comes. Still nothing. And the rent, the light bill, and the pharmacy copay are all sitting on the table, due, with no deposit behind them. That's the trap. Not fraud, not a scam, just a calendar most people were never told about, quietly turning what felt like a good month into a very long August. I'll give you the exact way around it before we're done. But first you need the real numbers, because 2 checks means nothing until you know what's inside them. For 2026, the cost of living increase, that's the yearly raise they add to keep your check level with rising prices, was set at 2.8%. Small, but real, and it nudged the federal SSI amounts up. If you're a single person on the full federal benefit, the maximum climbed to $994 a month. Last year it was $967, so that's about $27 more in your pocket. If you're a married couple and you both qualify, the maximum went up to $1,491 a month, up from $1,450. Now, most people don't collect the exact maximum. Your amount depends on your other income, on who lives in your home, and on whether your state adds a little on top. But whatever your personal number is, hold on to this. Both of your July deposits are that same monthly amount. The July 31st check isn't bigger, it isn't smaller, it's a normal August payment, and it's exactly what you'd have seen on August 1st anyway. And it doesn't matter how you get paid either, whether your money goes by direct deposit into your bank or onto the Direct Express card the government issues, both deposits land the very same way, on those very same 2 dates. No extra step for you, nothing to sign up for, it just shows up. And if this feels a little familiar, that's because it should. This weekend shuffle isn't some once-in-a-lifetime event. It happens a handful of times every single year, anytime the first of a month lands on a Saturday or a Sunday. You've almost certainly seen it before without ever knowing the reason. What makes this one feel bigger is the timing. A double up right in the middle of summer, when a lot of households are already stretched thin. So once you understand the rule behind it, you'll see it coming every time from here on out, and it will never catch you off guard again. Here's that wrinkle I promised the folks who told me their state up top. Several states, California, New York, and others, pay an extra state supplement stacked on top of the federal amount. If you live in one of those states, your total runs higher, but the calendar behaves exactly the same. Your state piece moved to July 31st, right alongside the federal piece. So don't worry if your 2 July deposits look different from your cousins in another state. You're on the same schedule, just a different total. Now I want to clear up one more thing, because every single time this comes around, the comments fill with people talking right past each other. SSI and Social Security are 2 completely different things, and this double deposit only touches SSI. SSI, Supplemental Security Income, is the needs-based check. It's for folks who are 65 or older, or blind or disabled, and who have very little income and few resources. That's the one paid on the first of the month. And that's the one doubling up this July. Regular Social Security, the retirement check you paid into with every paycheck for all those working years, runs on a whole different schedule. It goes out on Wednesdays, set by your birthday, and it does not do this 2-in-1 month thing in July. So if retirement Social Security is all you get, you're not seeing 2 checks this month, and that is perfectly normal. And if you get both SSI and Social Security, only the SSI side is affected here. 2 different programs, 2 different calendars. Don't let anybody in the comments convince you your retirement check is missing. It isn't. So who does this hit the hardest? The people living closest to the edge. If your SSI check is the money that covers the rent, the food, and the medicine, with almost nothing left at the end, then a month with no deposit isn't a small annoyance. It's the difference between making the first of the month and falling behind it. The bigger your cushion, the easier this is to ride out. The thinner your margin, the more one little calendar quirk can knock you flat. Which is exactly why the move I'm about to give you matters most for the people who need it most. There's one more thing worth knowing, and almost nobody brings it up. SSI comes with a resource limit. To keep the benefit, a single person is generally supposed to stay under $2,000 in countable resources, and a couple under $3,000. Most months, that's no trouble at all. But in a month where 2 checks land this close together, A little more than usual can pile up in your account right at the end of July. For most folks, this sorts itself out, because that second check is meant to be spent on August's bills anyway. Still, it's one more good reason not to just let both deposits sit there untouched. Put the July 31st money to work on August, the way it was always intended, and you keep your budget clean and your balance right where it needs to be. So here it is. The one thing to do, and it's simple enough to handle today. Take that July 31st deposit and, in your own head, give it a label. It is not July's money, it's August's. The moment it lands, set it aside for the bills you already know are coming in August. The rent, the utilities, the co-pays, and then treat the rest of July as if that second check never showed up at all. If you can, actually move it. Shift it into a separate account. Tuck it in an envelope. Or just draw a line in your notebook and mark it August. Whatever it takes to keep your hands off it until the first rolls around. Do that one small thing, and this whole quirk flips from a threat into a gift. Because now you're a month ahead instead of a month behind. And August, the empty month, is already paid for before it even starts. That's the entire game. The people who get burned by this aren't careless. They just weren't told. You were. That's the only difference between them and you. Let me pull it all together in one breath. 2 SSI deposits in July of 2026, one on Wednesday, July 1st, and one on Friday, July 31st. That second one is August check, moved up because August 1st is a Saturday. It is not a bonus, and there is no SSI payment during August, so your next one after that doesn't come until September 1st. The single person max this year is $994. The couple max is $1,491. Both deposits are your normal amount, and the one move that saves you is to set that July 31st check aside for August, the very day it lands. If this cleared something up for you, do one small thing for me. Send it to one person you know who's over 65, or on a fixed income. This is the kind of quiet thing that wrecks a budget, and 30 seconds of your time might save someone a brutal August. And if you want plain English breakdowns like this one every week, subscribing to the Finance Scribe honestly helps us keep making them. Then tell me down in the comments, when that second check lands on the 31st, are you setting it aside for August, or is it already spoken for? I read these, and I want to know where you stand. Take good care of yourself, keep an eye on that calendar, and I'll see you in the next one.